The Council of Ministers in Hemant Soren's Jharkhand government will take oath today. Hemant Soren took oath as Jharkhand's 14th Chief Minister on November 28th. Notably, the India bloc secured 56 seats in the 81-member assembly, while the BJP-led NDA won 24 seats. The first cabinet meeting has decided to meet for an assembly session from December 9th to December 12th. Businessman Raj Kundra, who is the husband of Bollywood actress Shilpa Shetty, will be summoned again by the Enforcement Directorate after skipping the second summons on Wednesday. The agency is investigating his alleged involvement in the production and circulation of pornographic content via mobile apps. The ED plans to record Kundra's statement under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Sources suggest Kundra may be summoned again within the next 7 to 8 days. A 26-year-old man was detained after attempting to gate crash shooting set where Bollywood actor Salman Khan was shooting for his upcoming film. The man referenced notorious gangster Lawrence Bishnoi, who has allegedly made threats against Khan in the past. Security personnel intercepted him and he was taken into custody for further questioning. The Andhra Pradesh government has suspended a senior police officer who led the investigation against former opposition leader N. Chandrababu Naidu, which resulted in his arrest in the alleged Skill Development Corporation case last year. The officer is accused of misutilization of government funds. He has been asked to remain in Vijayawada and prohibited from leaving without prior government approval till inquiry is completed. The Supreme Court will review the implementation of Stage 4 of the Graded Response Action Plan in Delhi today. During the last hearing, the court expressed concern over the insufficient enforcement of GRAP-IV measures, which are initiated when air quality hits hazardous levels. In a shocking twist to Delhi triple murder, the DU student who found his parents and sister dead at his residence has now been arrested for their murder. A couple and their daughter were stabbed to death in the Neb Sarai area, following which their son alerted the police. According to police, the accused had strained ties with his parents and was upset as they liked his sister more than him. A mother and her son were shot dead by their relatives and a neighbor over a long-standing land dispute in Muzaffarpur district late Wednesday evening. Police recovered 5 empty bullet shells from the crime scene. The dispute had been centered around a well between the two houses, with both families claiming possession of the water. The conflict had escalated after a quarrel earlier in the day, leading to the fatal shooting. An army Jawan on leave was injured in a terrorist attack in the Tral area of Avantipura in Jammu and Kashmir. The Jawan, who had returned home, was shot in the leg. He was promptly taken to a hospital where his condition is stable. In response to the attack, security forces cordoned off the area and initiated a search operation to apprehend the attackers. A jumbo vandalized a forest department vehicle in Tamil Nadu's Nilgiris, injuring 2 personnels. The incident took place when forest department officials were patrolling in a jeep. The ISRO is scheduled to launch the European Space Agency's Proba-3 mission aboard its PSLV-C-59 rocket today, after it was delayed yesterday due to an anomaly detected in the spacecraft. Proba-3 is the world's first precision formation flying mission and aims to study the sun's corona, the outermost and hottest part of the sun's atmosphere. Bhutan's King Jigme Wangchuk and Queen Pema Wangchuk arrived in New Delhi today for a 2-day official visit to India. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar received them in New Delhi. The king met with Indian leadership, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to review the bilateral relations. The charge the affairs of the Palestine embassy in India, Abu Jazir, expressed gratitude towards Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his letter on the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. In the statement, Abu Jazir highlighted that Prime Minister Modi reaffirmed India's support for a viable Palestinian state and appreciated the country's commitment to providing humanitarian aid to Palestine. Israeli airstrikes hit a tent camp for displaced Palestinians in southern Gaza, causing fires and killing at least 21 people. This was the latest attack on the tent city, which Israel had designated as a humanitarian safe zone but has repeatedly targeted. The Israeli military stated it targeted senior Hamas militants involved in terrorist activities in the area, while claiming precautions were taken to minimize harm to civilians. The death toll from Israeli attacks in Gaza has risen to 44,532 Palestinians amid ongoing airstrikes and ground operations in the region. The conflict continues to cause widespread devastation, with significant civilian casualties reported. The United Healthcare CEO was fatally shot in what police said appears to be a premeditated, pre-planned targeted attack outside the New York Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. Brian Thompson was on his way to speak at United Health Group's investor conference when the gunman approached from behind and fired several rounds. Thousands of Georgians rallied outside the parliament in Tbilisi, protesting the government's decision to suspend negotiations on joining the European Union. Protesters wrapped in Georgian and European flags clashed with riot police, who responded with water cannons and also tear gas. Over the past 6 nights, more than 300 protesters have been detained and over 100 people have been injured during the clashes. Meanwhile, Georgian police detained one of the country's opposition leaders in Tbilisi amid ongoing protests. The Coalition for Change opposition party said that police raided its offices and detained its leaders, Nika Gavaramia. Georgian media reported that police also raided the offices of several other opposition groups and non-government organizations. The price of one Bitcoin hit $100,000 for the first time on Wednesday as demand for the digital currency continued to surge in the wake of an election that saw victories for crypto-friendly candidates led by President-elect Donald Trump. Since November 5th, the price of Bitcoin has surged more than 45% year. To date, prices have more than doubled. Sumo wrestling will return to London for the first time in 34 years in 2025 as the historic Royal Albert Hall hosts a Grand Sumo tournament next October, just the second official event to be hosted outside of Japan in the sport's 1500-year history. Sumo is the national sport of Japan and originated around 1500 years ago in sacred ceremonial Shinto rites to pray for prosperity and bountiful harvest. Japan's traditional sake making process has been honored by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. This recognition celebrates the centuries-old brewing practices using rice, koji, mold, and water that have been passed down through generations. Sake joins other global cultural treasures such as Brazilian white cheese and Palestinian olive oil soap in the prestigious list. Just one retail chain was enough for Taylor Swift to have the top-selling book last week and the biggest publishing launch of 2024. According to Circana, Swift's Eras Tour book sold 814,000 copies over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. It is the season to unpack Spotify Wrapped, and it should come as no surprise that for a second year in a row, Taylor Swift has been named its most played artist ranking in more than 26.6 billion streams globally. She's followed by The Weeknd, Bad Bunny, Drake, and Billie Eilish. The streaming giant unveiled its annual overview of individual listening trends as well as trends from around the world. Naga Chaitanya tied the knot with his lady love Shobhita in a grand yet intimate ceremony in Hyderabad, officially becoming Mr. and Mrs. The first photos from their dreamy wedding are doing the rounds on social media. Shobhita looked like a vision in her traditional South Indian bridal attire, while Naga Chaitanya donned a kurta.